It's my first review video with my new iPhone. Yes, I've upgraded from the 7 to the 11, so clearer picture for possibly the best picture of 2020. Let's talk about Nomadland. Hey everybody, Dan here. This is Dan Reviews It. Welcome to my channel. If you are new around here, we review movies, TV shows, sometimes food, old Disney classics, the whole nine. But today we're going to talk about Nomadland. This thing is getting more accolades than just about any other movie. It was rated one of the 10 best films of 2020 by both the National Board of Review and the American Film Institute, AFI. And just about every single awards show there has been since September through the present. We're talking, Chicago Film Critics Association, LA Film Critics Association, Florida Film Critics Association, the Venice Film Festival, the Gotham Independent Film Awards, Houston Film Critics Society, on and on, Satellite Awards. All of these things have awarded at least something to this movie, in many cases, multiple things. Frances McDormand getting a lot of that love as the star of this film, but it's picking up a lot of Best Picture and Best Director awards as well. It's currently on tap for 4 Golden Globe possibilities in a few weeks. That's going to be for Best Motion Picture Drama, Best Actress Drama, Best Screenplay, and Best Director. But in addition to that, it's up for some Independent Spirit Awards, Screen Actors Guild Awards, Critics' Choice Awards. This movie is a juggernaut, and there's no doubt it's going to be nominated for Best Picture at the Oscars, that Frances McDormand will be nominated for Best Actress at the Oscars. There's just zero doubt in my mind about that. We won't find out about that for another few weeks, however. But essentially, this is a movie, and I've been saying director. It is directed by Chloe Zhao, who I honestly am not too familiar with. She's done a lot of independent movies, and I say a lot. She's only actually done a few, to be honest. But she's got a really big one on deck with Eternals, which is a Marvel movie that is slated to come out this year at some point. It's in post-production right now, but, with the film industry and big ticket items like Marvel, we don't know. But, pretty big step up for somebody who's known more for directing independent films. So what is this movie about? Well, it's based on a book, first of all, from a few years ago, 2017, called Nomadland, Surviving America in the 21st Century. And that was a nonfiction book. But what the filmmakers have done, the screenplay is also by Chloe Zhao. So what she has done mainly, along with producer Frances McDormand and a few other producers, they've sort of taken that fact book in which they, talk to people of the Nomadland, which we're going to get into, and sort of weaved it into a singular story about a fictitious character. But, there's also a lot of real life people in this movie living the nomad life, including Linda May, Bob Wells, and a gal named Swanky. And they all play themselves along with some other people. I think mainly Frances McDormand and David Strathairn are the two real actors in this movie. Everybody else is pretty much, never acted before. This is authentic to them and their story. And I'm not exactly sure if they, these nomads were part of the book. I don't really know. But essentially, Frances McDormand's character falls on some hard times. She's basically lost everything. Her name is Fern, and her husband recently died. She has lost this job that she's had for decades, working at this U.S. gypsum plant in Empire, Nevada. So the plant shuts down. She is, struggling to figure out what to do next, and she decides to sell most of her belongings and purchase this van to live in and travel, basically the American West, searching for work, which she does find along the way at various times in the film. She takes a seasonal job at Amazon. She finds herself at a restaurant. She finds herself at a campground helping out. And along the way, she does meet the David Strathairn character, simply named David. The movie is less about the plot characteristics than it is about the characteristics of the people, Fern specifically, but really everybody that she meets. This movie is indeed outstanding. I can see why it's up for all these awards. I really found myself riveted to this character, Fern, and everything that she was going through. What is so interesting about the direction of this movie, too, from Chloe Zhao, is that it feels like a true story. It feels like a documentary movie, in fact, most of the time. So when I learned that this book was a nonfiction book, that did not surprise me at all because this really feels so genuine, so authentic. And it's one of these movies where, the people that are depicted here, for the most part, I don't really see them going to the movies very often or owning a TV because they're nomads and they live on the road. And so this is something that doesn't really get depicted that much in movies or television because, it's not like they can really watch themselves. I mean, they could, I guess, if they went to the movies, but I get the sense that, these people really have no interest in that. They're living off the land, they're living off of each other and, each other's comfort and the comfort of, America and the road and all of this, and really just struggling to get by. And so it's something that, I certainly didn't see myself in any of these characters, but it didn't matter. It wasn't one of these movies where I needed to identify with them. In fact, I think most people watching the movie will not probably identify them. But what it does is opens us up to this entire world that we really don't know anything about. I mean, yeah, we've seen movies, I think, like this, road trip movies or this isn't a road trip, really. I mean, the road is her life. We've seen movies about people living on the road, and there's a few that come to mind. You could say maybe Captain Fantastic is one of them too with Viggo Mortensen. But what Chloe Zhao has done is just taken us into this world in a documentary style looking film. And I don't even know how much of this movie is scripted and how much of it is just off the cuff, loose design. Frances McDormand, do your thing. I mean, look, she's a brilliant actress. We know this. Three Billboards Outside Ebbing, Missouri is an amazing film. I gave it an A+. Fargo, going back to one of her early big hits, amazing film, and she's amazing in it. She is really one of, I think, our most treasured actors. And yeah, she gets the love of the awards sometimes, but she's not like an A-list by name, Julia Roberts and, I don't know, Amy Adams maybe now is one, Meryl Streep, obviously, but nobody really says Frances McDormand in that conversation, and I'm not sure why, because she's excellent in everything, and she just embodies all of these different characters. And what's great about her interpretation of Fern is, Frances McDormand is not what you would call like a classic beauty in the Hollywood sense of the term. So she genuinely fits right in with everybody in this movie. And like I said, I'm not sure what was scripted and what they just sort of had an outline for and said, go to town and do your thing, especially because there's a lot of real life nomads and people living the nomad lifestyle in this film. And they are also genuinely good actors. A lot of times we see actors that maybe don't act. We see people in movies, I should say, that don't act. And, Clint Eastwood likes to do it. He did it with Gran Torino with some, I think, pretty successful results with his neighbors. And then he did it in the 17 to Paris or whatever it was called with pretty disastrous results, I think. But these guys, because, the setting is home to them, the language that they're talking about, the things that they're saying is home to them. They were just naturals on camera. This is a movie that will certainly not be for everybody. It could maybe be a little bit meandering because there isn't much of a central plot beyond the fact that, Fern goes on the road and meets people along the way, and sometimes they enter back into her life, sometimes they don't. But for me, it didn't matter. I mean, I'm not sure that this is a movie I will watch again. I don't know if it's something, that will be a go-to for me, but this is movie making at its finest. This is just a cinema brilliance, and there's not much else I can say about it, other than I really encourage you all to watch this, especially if you are a follower of the awards shows. Definitely, because it's gonna be up for the Oscar for Best Picture. I guarantee it. It's got too much momentum behind it to not be. And so this one, Nomadland, it might not be my favorite film of the year. That's probably still Sound of Metal. But in terms of sheer, movie making, this is sheer brilliance. So I give Nomadland, obviously, an A+. So that's going to do it. We're trying to do more standalone videos on my channel here, to sort of get more eyeballs on them, because I feel like shorter videos, 9-10 minutes for a movie review rather than a half-hour video for 3 or 4 movies, makes more sense. So you'll see more and more of these movies pop up over the next few weeks, especially as we get into the awards season. I am going to do some package videos still. I have a whole slate of documentaries that I'm going to tackle, at 2 or 3 minutes at a clip. We're going to do like a dozen in one video. But this has been Nomadland. I hope you've enjoyed the video. And if you're new to the channel, please do subscribe, or at least, think about throwing me a like down there. It does help out the channel. And that's it. We'll see everybody next time. Bye.